So the other day I was researching something called a dopamine detox, and prior to this I thought it was a chemical released when doing illegal substances. Turns out I was wrong. We are addicted, we are a nation addicted to media, food, consumerism, you name it. In today's world of easy access, virtually anything is unlimited, and it's almost impossible to resist giving into the urge of scrolling down on your social media feed or eating that piece of cake. Well, the thing is, these indulgences, these pleasures are so attainable, and they release a small amount of dopamine into our systems each time we indulge in it. It's that feel-good sensation telling your body, whatever you just did, yeah, do that again. Over time, we humans have evolved that learning that dopamine usually ends up with good outcomes. It motivates us to survive, causing us to react, whether it's finding food or a partner. Prehistorically and now, that chemical is directly linked to allow us to have an element to predict the future. It's that same feeling when you're playing a computer game and you discover a new level, or when you're on your way home and you discover a new route going back, or even when you're out shopping when you're buying something in the sales. It lets you know to remember, making that memory stronger, just in case you come across that same situation again. But where we've gone wrong in the 21st century is that we treat it as if we have an unlimited supply of it, ready to be extracted at any time. And like anything that is consumed repeatedly in large quantities, it usually ends up in a bad outcome. And our addiction to dopamine has become a way of life, and some of us may not even realise that we're in a constant state of overstimulation and sensory overload. We end up being numb to what brings us joy. It makes it difficult to distinguish what is important and what is not. And companies have tapped into that. They have engineered our environments, our food, the way we watch, purchase items in subtle ways to influence our behaviour, usually to do more of what they want. Think about the last time you went to a supermarket. A smell hits you of fresh bread as you enter the store. This isn't done by accident. That smell of fresh bread subconsciously gets you salivating, igniting your brain into hunger mode, and essentially with the end outcome of you buying more. It's similar to the theory when people say don't go shopping on an empty stomach because you just end up buying crap. Anyways, the problem is our brains have not evolved as quickly as our technology and our advances. And we often find ourselves in situations where we don't actually like the things we crave. It's like our desire for dopamine overpowers the more rational parts of our brain. We make choices that we know subconsciously that are not good for us. And by that I mean is that we eat and consume faster than ever. When you spend 15 minutes binge watching prank videos on YouTube, or spend a whole day watching a whole series having a marathon, you never really feel good after, do you? I remember the day when I got my first iPhone. Back then in 2007, I had 500 gigs of data per month. It later increased to 1 gig, then 2 gig, then 4 gig, 10, 20, and now I have 100 gigs of data to use per month. This small computer in my pocket, but yet so powerful. The question comes to mind, with all that data at my fingertips, what am I actually doing? And what is causing me to whip out this device time and time again? And I'll be honest, there was a point in time where my media consumption was out of control. I would check my phone with a knee-jerk reaction, full well knowing that I literally just checked it 5 minutes ago. Because with every notification, vibration of the phone, or that ring had triggered a surge of dopamine, which continually re-triggered a state of constant desire. So doing a type of dopamine detox may be the answer. The idea is to deprive yourself from dopamine hits, and it's really about controlling your environment. So no texts, no Netflix, or answering calls. Instead of reacting to these rewarding, inducing cues, which taps into our immediate desires, which are most often short-lived anyway, we're going to teach ourselves to delay gratifications, which will allow us to reset our brains. If we can delay instant gratification, it gives us the ability to resist temptation. Choosing a long-term reward over immediate gratification poses a major challenge in many areas of life because we don't usually exercise the muscles of willpower. There's an experiment called the Stanford Marshmallow experiment. Psychologist Walter Mischel placed a treat in front of children, and they were told if they waited, upon the examiner's return, they would receive a double portion of the treat. Some kids ate the treat and a few were able to resist. The kids that were able to wait were monitored over the years as they grew up, and they discovered those same children that were able to resist, those kids performed better academically and generally performed better than the group that could not. So why is it so hard to wait when we apply this in real life? Well, the thing is, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a nice treat with a nice big marshmallow at the end. There's no guarantee that you're going to achieve your desired outcome. There's no promise when you study that course or when you go to university that you'll land a job when you finish. It's this uncertainty that makes giving up immediate rewards so difficult. There was even a more recent marshmallow experiment done, but with a twist. This time the examiner returned to the kids that had resisted and simply just apologised with no treat in hand. They ran the experiment again, and those same kids that had previously resisted almost immediately ate the treat when the examiner left. When there was no promise of anything, it was almost logical to give in. They weren't willing to wait. In that short period, they had already been conditioned into giving in to their indulgences. Now in everyday life this happens all the time. We go in with the desired outcomes and sometimes it doesn't always work out. So when we're in a similar situation, what do? We give in. In life, uncertainty is inevitable. But being aware of it is really important and building a type of resilience to it, because if you have a type of resilience, that will help you stick to your goals better. Sometimes our environments are so enriched that they suppress our inhibitions to distinguish what is important. Have you ever been to a new country and all your smells are heightened, you're hearing new sounds, tasting new things, and in some situations it's a culture shock, but you're aware of it. But to the people who live there, they're used to it, they're accustomed. Personally, I've tried to do a dopamine detox on some weekends where I'm not watching any news, Netflix, YouTube, or not even checking my phone. I'm doing the simpler things where I'm going for walks, reading a book, or simply just reflecting. In reality, it's impossible to do a dopamine detox for a prolonged period of time, but if you implement this on some type of level every now and again, it may allow you to see what is important and what you would normally miss. Anyways guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash the like button, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this, and comment below, it really motivates me, and I'll see you guys in another video.